So we have to wait until the person is launched or deployed successfully. In the meantime, let me come back here to our VPC and then go to our site-to-site VPN connection. Try to refresh and go to the channel details. And as you can see that the both of the channels are up, means the connection established successfully. Now what I'm going to do is launch an Ec2 instance in our VPC in our AWS account, because I want to test the ping between the two instances before I launch my worker and my master nodes. So what I have to do here is launch an instance server type we like to use, because we will use only the ping, and if we want to interact with an instance that is in the private subnet, either in the Azure account or in AWS account, as long as that we have established a private or a secure connection between the two accounts. So I will scroll down here and they will choose the G2 micro, right? And then the network, I will choose my VPC, they will choose my public subnet one. At storage tag, in the tag I will call it for the key, the name, the value, I will call it the bastion. For configure security group, we have already created a security group for this region, call it Oregon region, right? This is called Kubernetes security group that has the all TCP ports opened and the ping for all the ICMP protocol, and also this port is opened for, but this port is included in this port, like this is a redundancy, so you don't need to add this port as well, as long as these belong to this range of ports, because once you open all the ports, this port is included. This is the port that the IP server in the master node listen on it. We open this port on the master node when we like to join a new instance, either a new master node or a worker node to the Kubernetes cluster. We will cover this and we will see this together, don't worry. Then review and launch, and then choose the key pair. I have already this key pair, or you can click here and create new key pair, then give it a name, then click on download, and then use this key pair to authenticate to your bastion instance. Now launch an instances, scroll down here and then view the instance. So let me come back here. So our bastion created. So here we are on our Ansible server. I will click on connect. You have the choice. If you are using Linux, then you will use the SSH, but as long as we are in private subnet and we don't have public subnet, right, we will not be able, and we have ignored all the ports and we don't allow the 22 port of the SSH opened, right? And for the RDP, if you are using Windows, and here we will choose the bastion as long as that we want to interact with our VM, Azure VM, through the bastion. So we click on the bastion, use the bastion, and for the username, call it Azure user. This is the credential that we have entered once we were creating our Azure VM. And for the password, we will enter the password. and then click on a connection. If the credentials are correct, then you will connect to your Ansible server. Otherwise, the connection will not establish between your Bastion and your Ansible server. So, hello. Yes, the connection is established successfully. And if I come back here now, I want to connect, or yes, to connect to my Bastion instance on AWS. So I will open Mobox-term to make an SSH connection to my VM on AWS VPC, right? As long as I have choose the Amazon Linux, the default user is EC2 user. If you are using Ubuntu, then the default user is Ubuntu. Then click on Advanced SSH Settings. So we will SSH to our VM using the private key, right? And it is already stored here. That is Kubernetes demo.pim. I'll call it Bastion. I will clear the terminal and come back here, right? And they have to modify something here before we try to ping to this instance. Because now if I try for it, I have to check the IP address of this instance using the ifconfig command. If I try to type ping, paste it here, the ping does not work. Why? Because I have to modify something in the row table. So I will come back here to the VPC console and go to the row tables. Go to the public row table as long as the bastion is in a public subnet. So that subnet will be in this public row tables, and go to the route propagate and enable the propagation. So as you can see that this VPN private gateway, the propagation is not enabled yet, so we have to enable it. Either you can enable it, right? Click on enable, or you can add that in the row table manually, because once you will enable it and save, that will edit something in the row table. So if we scroll down here, as you can see now, that if we want to interact with this IP address CIDR block, then the target will be the virtual private gateway. So now if we try to ping, the ping now work. If I come here now, and if I want to ping to this Bastion instance in AWS from the Ansible server that is in Azure, AWS and Azure account, I will use the ping and then paste the IP address here. And as you can see, that's the ping work. If the ping does not work for you, you have to edit something, and that is to create your own route table that's called user defined routes, right? Go into the route table, then create your own route table. So I want it to be in the same resource as the